Good day and welcome to Jonard Tools, first in what we expect to be a series of live events where we get to demonstrate our products to you. Thank you for joining. I'm going to wait a minute or so to give other people a chance to join. And while I'm doing that, we'd like you to go to our Facebook page and go to jonard.com/live to enter to win these MS Series tools. Okay, my name is Ed Sorbona. I'm the Director of Engineering for Jonard Tools. Today I have with me Mike Baptiste in the background doing this whole production, and I also have Randy Garrison, our Vice President of Sales and Marketing, with me, who'll be giving me the questions you may ask. If you'd like to ask a question, please type it in the comment field and somebody here will pass it along to me. We'll try to get to as many as we can. So, Jonard Tools was founded in 1958 and we've been in business for a long time and have over 800 products in our product line. This is why we decided to start this video event, give us an opportunity to share all these products with you. Okay, so I'm assuming we're done waiting. Good? Okay, so I'm going to start with just describing each of the tools in the series here. So I'm going to start with, let me just explain what's going on with them on the outside here. So one side of the tool is for slitting, okay? Each slot size is marked on the top of the tool. This line in the center here indicates where the blade is. Now this tool I picked up is the MS306 and it has 6 slots that range in size from 1.2 to 3.3 millimeter. The other side of the tool is the ring side of the tool, and again 6 slots, size from 1.2 to 3.3 millimeters. Flipping this over back to the slit side, the way you open it is just by pulling the tab back and lifting the top. It opens up the tool. You'll notice that there are a lower set of slitting blades and an upper set of slitting blades. This allows the tool to slit the cable in one operation. You don't have to flip it over and do it on the other side. The ring side has one set of blades only on the top. In the back of the tool, there's a tether feature here, a hole for tethering. Each tool has it so that you're able to tether it to you if you're in a bucket or up on a ladder. It'll keep you from losing the tool. So that's the MS306. MS316 goes from 2.9 to 6.8 millimeters. This one has 5 holes, follows the same procedure where the line indicates where the blade is. The arrow on here is indicating the pull direction. The back ring feature, 5 slots, again, same thing. MS326, this tool is a little bit more unique in that the blades are set lower for thin jacketed cables. Cables typically used for blowing into ducts and things of that nature, where you really want a lighter cable as possible. So this one, besides that, if you'll notice, the line is on the edge here, again indicating where the blade is, the slitting blade is, because they're right on the edge here. The reason for this is some of the cables that are used have a ridge in them where it's for slitting operation because it's easier to pull apart. So this just helps you locate that so that you can get the blade and cable in there. The tool also has dots on the side to help you identify where the blade is and where the top and bottom is. The MS326 tool is designed for cables with much thicker walls. Typically cables used in aerial applications, could be some used blown into ducts, but this is definitely for much thicker walled cables. This ranges in size from, I believe it's 5.8 to 12 millimeters. By the way, the MS326 ranges in size from 5 to 10 millimeters. Okay, I'm going to go through and do some slitting and ringing operations. I'll do a little mid-span and then an end cut, and I'll open up some buffer tube, and I have a couple of other cables here I'd like to go through and do. Okay, before I go on, one question we are usually asked is, are the blades replaceable? The answer to that is yes, and they're very easily replaced. There's simply a couple of screws on the top. You unscrew them, a blade cartridge comes out. You insert the new blade cartridge. Blade cartridge is sold separately, and it's sold in a package like this. It gives you all three cartridges. It gives you the upper and lower ones, as well as the one for the ring. So it's a complete set. Okay. Another question we are typically asked is, what is the life expectancy of the blades? The blades are designed to last about 5,000 cuts. It depends. It can last longer. It depends on the material, and depends on the thickness and how heavy duty the jacket is of the cable. So let me go into doing the first demonstration here. So in this case, I'm using the MS326 because the cable I have here is specifically designed for it. Okay. A quick guide, if you don't know the cable diameter, is just simply use the slots as a measure for if your cable fits in it or not. It's easy to tell if you put in a slot that's too big, cable's going to be very sloppy inside the tool. If you put in a slot that's too small, it won't be able to close and lock into place. So I'm going to go ahead, and before I do that, I'm going to put before I slit and ring it, I want to put a couple of marks on my cable to act as a guide for me. Okay, so I know I want to slit and ring this section of cable. So first thing I'm going to do is do my ring cuts. I open up the tool, again, pull the latch back, open the tool, set the cable in place, aligning that line with my mark, and rotate 3 times. Come over here, do the same thing. Okay, I did my ring cuts. I'm going to flip the tool over, open it up, going to insert the cable into the tool. Now, I know that this cable is 5.8 millimeters, so I'm going to put it in that slot. I'm sorry, 5 millimeters. I'm going to put it in that slot and close the cable. This cable, as I described before, has a ridge in it. I made sure that the blade is in the center of the ridge. And I'm going to pull. Stop at my mark. Open. Okay. Now, this cable I have to pick with my finger to peel it apart, because we don't want to score or nick the buffer tube inside. And there you go. So now I've exposed the buffer tubes. The tool can also do an end slit. It doesn't matter to it. So I'm going to go ahead and do an end slit and finish off the rest of this cable. Again, coming in, close, pull, and slit. And there you go. I now have my buffer tubes exposed. So now that I have the buffer tubes exposed, I want to get down to the actual fiber. The tool I'm going to use for that is the MS306, okay, where I'm going to open it up. I want to open it up on the slit side. And I'm actually not sure what size this buffer tube is. So I'm going to use the tool as a gauge. Set it back in. Okay, in this case, I know now that the buffer tube is somewhere between 1.2 to 1.5 millimeters, as this was the best fitting slot. I'm just going to take it, pull, and separate. I can get my fingers in there. There we go. There you go. I now have my fiber exposed. Okay. So that's one example. I have a couple other cables here that I'd like to slit and ring for you as well. Let me take out this cable. This cable here is an indoor-outdoor cable. The MS316. Let me get this cable out of the way. The MS316 is the correct tool for this because I know this cable is 4.8 millimeters in diameter. And the MS316 slot is 4.4 to 5.2. Okay, I'm being asked a question right now. The question is, how well does this work with spider wire? I assume we're referring to spider cable, so I'm familiar with it. It actually will work with those cables. Jonard itself is working on some tools to help with the spider cable. Look for that probably this summer. Okay, so let me go on to this cable here. I'm going to slit about 6 feet or so with this, just because I want to show how well it works. Okay. So as you can see, broken the cable open. There. Okay, exposing my fiber. So I probably have better than a 6-foot length here. The MS316 in part was designed to specifically work on this cable because this indoor-outdoor cable, is, once you get it into someone's home or residence here, you may need to run as much as slit as much as 30 feet of this cable. So this tool was specifically designed to do that. Let me stop, have another question coming up. When making a midspan on a tube, should you also make the ring cuts first and then the slit, or is it better to make the slit first? I like to do my ring cuts first. In this case, when I did my demo, I just slid it right to the end of the cable. But you definitely should do a ring cut, slit it open, because this controls how much distance you want to do. So if you need to break into 6 inches, you know where the marks are, okay? And you can control how much you're slitting. So, and that's a trick of the trade. I actually learned it from a Corning field technician. So I follow his lead on that one. All right, so I have another cable here. Again, I just want to show the versatility of the MS306. So this is your typical jumper cable. It's 2.9 millimeter in diameter. Okay, I'm going to open up the MS306, set it into the slot. Close it. And pull. There you go. Cable slit open, fiber is exposed. So if you notice, I didn't use the MS426 just because of the limited space I have here and the cable being so hard to pull. I don't have the resources to be able to effectively show it, and I don't want you to watch me standing on a cable and pulling. So I don't think that works well for this kind of venue. At this point, let me recap the tools here. So we have the MS306, designed to slit 1.2 to 3.3 millimeters. The MS316, designed to slit fiber optic cables from 2.9 to 6.8 millimeters. The MS326 from 5.0 to 10 millimeters. And then the MS426 from 5.8 to 12 millimeters. At this point, I think I'd like to open up the floor for any questions or comments anyone may have. Randy, do we have anything coming? I'm getting a nod, yep. Okay, question. Does it work for armor cable? Great question. Answer is no. These are not designed to slit into armor, because the armor jacketing would destroy the blades. Okay. Let's see. Okay. Where do you buy these tools? So what I'd like to suggest is you visit our webpage, www.jonard.com. Click on the Where to Buy section and select the distributor nearest to you. There are plenty of online distributors as well as brick and mortar distributors here. Oh, I have one more question coming in. How do you prevent from using the wrong blade is the question. What I think it is meant here is, how do you prevent from going in the wrong direction when you're slitting? The slitting arrow indicates the direction, and if you were to attempt to pull it in the wrong direction, it would actually jam up and stop. You wouldn't be able to do that. So, any more questions? Oh, we have another one coming in. Okay. What events do you want to see us do? That's a great thing to ask. So we have over 800 products, as I've described earlier in the presentation. What events or what demonstrations would you like to see us do? Please type in the comment field. Let us know some of the other tools you may be interested in seeing a demo on, or a live event where we can help you. Randy, one more question coming up. Excellent. I use a CST 1900. Are there any advantages that these have over what I use now? The main advantage of these tools is the fixed blades and the fixed slots. You choose the right tool for the cable you have. You don't have to adjust you don't have to do any adjustments. The CST 1900, a great tool, but that tool you have to set the blade depth. Also, in terms of slitting, you have to do the operation twice. You have to slit once, flip it over, and slit again. With the MS series tools, it's just one, once you put in the right slot, it's just one pull and done. Okay. No more incoming? Any last questions? So I think at this point, we'll look to end the video. Again, like our Facebook page and go to jonard.com/live to enter to win these MS series tools. Okay, and thank you for watching, and please stay safe.